Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks for clicking on to today's edition of VOGAN'S Views on the USA for the 2nd of April. And basically, April's starting off the way March left. Very, very warm weather. It's hard to find any cold air anywhere across the United States at this time. We've got two pockets of cooler air, one over the Pacific Northwest and the West as well. And as well as that, up across the northeast and New England, we've seen temperatures yesterday that were really struggling to rise across the northeast corner. This is highs that were recorded yesterday. You notice here how far north the extent of 90s was yesterday. The temperature up here, South Dakota, was 91 degrees. That was the earliest 90-degree reading any time in the year. We also seen temperatures as high as 94 degrees just south of Pierre. Temperatures as well as that were as high as 87 degrees in southwestern North Dakota. Just outstanding warmth for this early in the year. It really was very, very hot, summer-like heat all the way through the plains into the Ohio Valley. You notice the extent here, the upper 80s, low 90s even across southern Illinois. But you notice here the extent of the 90s, very hot weather across Texas. But we're seeing changes, subtle changes on the way. 84 degrees, you notice that in Denver. Today, the high is going to be struggling to hit 50 degrees. In fact, it probably will remain in the 40s. Notice here, as I skip through, this is off the Weather Channel. You notice here, this is forecast highs and the weather conditions for today. Look at that there, 44 degrees in Denver. So that's 40 degrees colder than it was yesterday. We're going to be seeing precipitation start to build in. There's an area of low pressure that's going to be swinging down into the Four Corners region. As it does so, it's going to pull in colder, drier air. As well as that, it's also stifling, shutting off the heat that was across the plains. Look at the difference. 50s across South Dakota compared to the 90s yesterday. 50s as well up across North Dakota. But you're noticing here that there is still plenty of heat over the eastern, southern plains into the the mid-south, the western flank of the Ohio Valley as well. Look at that, 90 degrees in St. Louis. Let's have a quick look at the current chart of the Weather Channel. You notice here, I'm going to just have a quick skip through to show you what the current weather conditions are, and this outlines it quite well. You've got an area of low pressure, you've got the trough, you've got much cooler air now across the western flank of the plains. Notice here the occlusion of the front here. That of course is pulling in that colder air, or cooler air should I say, from the western flank of the country. This here, folks, is actually a dry line. On the west side of the dry line, we've got dew points in the 20s, even some teens, and out ahead of that, where the heat and the moisture is getting pumped north from the Gulf of Mexico, we're going to be seeing 60s and 70 degree dew points here on the east flank of the dry line. This dry line, as the air and the surface heats up over the course of the afternoon, we'll have to watch out for Texas, Oklahoma, up into even parts of Nebraska, and pushing across into the Arklatex region. We need to watch out for strong thunderstorms turning severe. We've got a modest low-level jet stream coming out of the southwest, and what that will do is you've got the moisture, the southeasterly winds blowing up along the east flank of the dry line. On the backside, we've got northwesterly airflow, and of course that can create the spin in the atmosphere, changing wind direction with height. That's known as wind shear, and that is the concern here. As this dry line starts to get activated by the surface heat, that moisture, that 60 to 70 degree dew point, that of course is going to spark strong thunderstorms. And as the afternoon into the evening progresses, we need to watch out for severe thunderstorms. This is off the Weather Channel. This is the concern for today. The severe weather threat is marked in red. Notice that Houston, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Dodge City, Kansas City, all in line for severe thunderstorms during the afternoon and into the evening hours. We need to be careful here for this impending weather. Also interesting to note is the fact that I'm going to have another quick skip through if I can do that. Other interesting things to notice here, folks, is that Denver, you're looking actually at a big change. 84 degrees, record-breaking high yesterday. We could be looking at, of course, mid-40s, like I said. And as well as that, the moisture that's going to be starting to build over the front range of the Rockies. And as this front pushes off to the east, you've, of course, got the flow starting to go back and slam up against the front range. As it does so, it rises orographically. And, of course, we're looking at a significant snowstorm. Yeah, snowstorm over the Denver metro area. Areas across central Colorado, east of the actual Rockies themselves, and of course including the metro Denver area, could be looking at 4 to 8 inches of snow between lunchtime today and 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And as well as that, further south across from the Palmer Divide southwards into southern Colorado, you're talking over a foot of snow. What a difference a 24-hour period makes. If you think here in the UK we're seeing this wild change between the heat of last week and the cold and snow of today, just think folks in Denver are seeing that dramatic change, even more extreme than what we're seeing within a 24-hour period. Just remarkable indeed. I hope you keep checking back to my blog, First Hand Weather. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll keep you up to date with the latest weather across the United States. Have a great evening, folks. Bye-bye.